right. We still have some people joining up. So, all right. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Ifeanyi. Thank you for confirming that. So we still have some people joining in. As they join in, we are going to also admit them in. Let's just wait for, I think, just one more minute, then we are going to kick off. All right, sounds good. All right. Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Can we all hear me? If we can all hear me, kindly give a thumbs up. I know we might not be as many as that of the design class. Trust me, I don't know why people like running away from the dev team. Um, but trust me, you are really going to learn a lot from this developer journey that we're going to be diving into, right? All right, can we all see my screen? If you can see my screen also, trust me, I would want us to, you know what, let me just take this right to, all right, let me just take this right so that it does not disturb us. So let me see, people are still joining in, so I'm just going to be accepting them as I'm taking the class alongside, right? So very good. All right, very good. Welcome once again. If you are just joining, you are highly welcome. I can see most of us. Adeoye Mary, welcome. We have Blessing, we have colleagues, we have Distinct, obviously, and we also have Favor, Great Life, Lazarus, we have Ifeanyi, and we have Pelumi Esther, and we have Saeed Mohammed. You are all highly welcome. And this track is going to be about the developer journey itself, right? We're going to be talking about the modern developer mindset, right? We're going to talk about the journey of how you are going to learn dev the smart way with AI, right? Trust me, previously most developers, the way they write code is like it's very much different from now on, especially if you are a senior dev and you make use of AI a lot. Trust me, the whole process of writing code now has really changed, right? So I'm going to literally walk you guys through about how developers actually use AI to actually fasten the track right now. So but first, before we go ahead, I want us to kindly just do a quick introduction about ourselves. So first, let me know where you all are joining from. And if you are joining from Lagos, from Ibadan, just type it in the chat and put Lagos. I mean, you should be proud of your state, right? So if you are from Lagos, if you're from Ibadan, just go to the chat and type in the state where you are currently joining us from, right? Waiting for us. So just go to the chat. In case you are new to Google Meet, it's fine. Just like you're gonna see a chat box below, just around the corner. Okay, I can see some chats coming in. Blessing, we have Blessing from Ogun State. We have colleagues from Abeokuta. All right, sweet, sweet. We also have Favor from Edo State. You are highly welcome. We have Ifeanyi from Lagos. We have Great Life journey from River State, all the way from River State. Uh, Very good. Don't worry, we have this small community of dev. Trust me, during the design class, it was actually very interesting. I think we have like around like 20 plus students, but there people like running away from dev, and I'm pretty much sure you're going to like enjoy this class. Okay, we also have Adeoye Mary. She's joining from Lagos State. You are all highly welcome. All right, very good. Again, just to confirm, if you are also on the group, just go ahead to type present on the dev and design bootcamp WhatsApp group so that I can know that you joined today's class, right? So let's go to the WhatsApp group and type present, right? So that I can just like track the people that are actually active amidst us, right? Very good. So I'm going to go ahead to share my screen. And you guys should just let me know once you can see my screen. All right, very good. Thank you for that thumbs up, Esther. All right, sweet. I can see some people are still trying to join us. Titus, you came late. You're welcome. All right. So yeah, as I said earlier on, we're going to be talking about how we can actually learn dev the smart way with AI. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead to just turn off my handsome face so you guys can focus more on the slide, right? And I'm going to also drag this and bring this back here. So whenever you guys are laughing, don't have an handsome face. Oh, very good. So whenever you guys have any question, trust me, I'm here with you. Just drop it in the chat. We are going to go along together. All right. So now we're going to be talking about learning dev the smart way with AI, right? And I know most feel free whenever you have any question, just raise your hand. In case you are not used to Google Meet, you're going to see like a hand raised beside the caption or the emoji button. Just raise your hand if you have any question. I'm going to give you the floor so you can ask a question. All right. Um, but you know what? I feel before we actually continue, we are actually very few here, so we can actually introduce ourselves. All right. So I'm going to be calling our name one by one. Just tell me your name, tell me what you do. In just like 10 seconds, we are done. Since we're actually very little, we aren't that much right here. So let's start with Blessing. Blessing, can you just unmute your mic and tell us your name? Obviously, I know your name is Blessing, right? But just tell us what you do currently.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, Blessing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. My name is Blessing, and I currently work as a front-end developer at an enterprise company.
Okay. Very good. All right. Thank you for the introduction. Next we have um Great Life Lazarus. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, my name is Great Life. I'm also a front end developer. I'm currently just freelancing, working on my own. I just finished my training.
Okay, all right, sweet, sweet. Next we have Conlix. Conlix, can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is Collins. I'm a crypto trader.
All right. All right. Nice to have you here. We also have Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi, can you go ahead, please?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Irfan Africa. I work as executive assistant to MD at 80th Limited, Lagos.
Okay, okay. Nice to have you. Palumi, are you there? Oh, okay, she left already. Let's see. Adeoye Mary, can you go ahead, please?
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Mm,
My name is Mary, and I work as a compliance officer in a consulting firm.
All right. Babatunde, are you there? Nice to have you, Mary. Babatunde, are you there? If you're just joining us, just briefly introduce yourself, what you do, and we move on. If Babatunde isn't there yet, can we move on to Favor?
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, good evening, Favor.
My name is Favor.
All
I'm a
right.
front-end developer.
All right. So I can see we have mostly front-end dev guys here. Okay, interesting. Babatunde, are you there now? Okay, if Babatunde is not there, we are just going to proceed. Um, yep, like I said, we are going to be talking about learning dev the smart way with AI, and I'm very sure most of us here that are developers, you would have actually used AI in one way or the other before, right? But basically, what this career track is going to um, teach you about is we are going to mostly talk about how you can actually put yourself out there, how you can stay 100 times productive compared to other developers that aren't using much of AI. So I'm going to show you what we're going to be learning, where we are going to start from, and what we are going to be doing throughout the course, right? So please make sure to have your pen and paper and have a pen and paper in case you want to jot, in case you want to take screenshots, you can take screenshots, feel free. And in case you also need the slide, I'm going to share the slide with you guys later on. So, yep. So let's just go ahead. So yeah, like I said, we are going to be talking about learning dev the smart way with AI, right? But before we go ahead, I like to actually talk about quotes, right? So I have this quote from Mark Cuban. Does anyone know Mark Cuban right here? If you know Mark Cuban right here, just like drop it in the chat. Just say yes, or if you don't know him, just say no. Anyone? Does anyone know Mark Cuban? Have you heard the name before? I want us to be really active in the chat so that I can know you guys are following me. No, if fine. Okay, if I said no. All right. Blessing. No, nobody knows Mark Cuban. That's really weird. Okay, never heard of him. Great life. Okay. Has anyone heard about Shark Tank? Has anyone heard about Shark Tank? No, nobody knows Shark Tank. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, very good. All right. So I think there is a name. They call it in Nigeria. Okay, does anyone knows Lion Den Nigeria? Let me confirm that Lion Den, where people come about, they talk about their business, and those like investors just come and tell them, "Oh, I'm going to invest in your business, this and that." Has anyone heard about Lions Den, Nigeria? Yes, favor. All right, very good. So like Shark Tank is actually the version, the American version of like Lion Den, right? So Mark Cuban is one of the huge entrepreneur and also a businessman, a very successful businessman. And one of his favorite quotes is artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, whatever you are doing, if you do not understand it, learn it. Because otherwise, you are going to be a dinosaur within 3 years, right? So it's Mark Cuban saying. So basically, if you are coding, obviously, like you need to see me right now. If you are coding and you're not using AI, how are you surviving, right? But the major key thing that is trying to pass to us right here is artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, whatever you are doing, if you do not understand it, at least learn it. All right. Otherwise, you are going to be a dinosaur. I'm very sure most of us don't want to be a dinosaur, right? Very good. So please, please, and please make sure to always um know what you're doing, learn it very well. And I will talk more about all of this as we go ahead, right? Also, we are going to start with introduction, right? Because obviously we know, first of all, right, introduction. And let me just go ahead to introduce myself since I already heard from most of you guys. So let me now go ahead to introduce myself. I know some of you guys might know me, but in case you do not, my name is Eniola David Ademola, and people always call me Dave World. So you can also approach me by calling me Dave World. It's fine. And I am a data scientist, a open source contributor, and also a full stack AI engineer. And we'll talk more about all of these, right? And trust me, over the past years, I've worked with amazing students like you guys. I've taught amazing students across Nigeria. I've taught boot camps. I've spoken in events. I've spoken to investors. I've met with amazing and great students that are literally doing very well in their career right now. And also I've met with awesome people with distinct like you can see this next slide, you can see the CEO and TO, Ayomide Bello. We have all of them right here. So I've met with amazing people right here in Dixit. Trust me, I'm pretty much sure that I'm also going to meet with one of you guys physically. And whenever you see me, feel free to always come ahead to come and take selfie. It's always a free word, right? And yeah, my future vision is to actually build innovative products and help millions, if not billions, of people to become a better version of who they want to be in the tech industry, right? And that's been my major goal since I joined tech in my early career, right? To build innovative products, and alongside building innovative products, I mean, it will be very much interesting to also help millions, right, if not billions of people to actually become a better version of who they want to be in the tech industry, right? So enough of the introduction, and let's talk about what we're going to be doing with Distinct, right? So the Dev with Distinct career is going to be 8 major steps, and I want you guys to pay attention, right? So the first step is going to be the modern developer mindset, which is what we're going to be talking about today, right? So when we talk about the major developer mindset, we are talking about the AI tools, the toolkit setup, and the shift from writing every line to directing and reviewing. And trust me, I'm going to actually show you a detailed step by step on how you can actually use AI to be more productive, how to take it from ideation to production. We're going to talk more about everything. So if you have been using AI and you are not using it the right way, you are going to learn a lot, right? Especially for those that their AI has hallucinates and maybe they don't get the exact result they are looking for. It's probably because you are doing something wrong. And what we're going to do in this career track is we are actually going to talk about some interesting parts, which we're going to talk about, like how a normal user, which is not like obviously um totally equipped with the right process of using AI to build products, right? So we're going to talk about how they do it. We'll do an example together, right? We're going to use Claude to actually build like a simple landing page and see how it goes from there, right? So we're going to look at how developers actually go ahead to use these different AI tools to just prompt AI and get that result, right? Trust me, they might get results, but they might not get 100%. They might not get the best. They might not get the best out of what they are looking for. So we're going to look at all of those processes, how people do it, the mistake they make, and we're going to look at a better way of how to go from there, right? So all of those simple steps, we're going to cover it. And we're going to start from the modern developer mindset, right? And after we talk about that, we've talked about the AI tools, setup, the shift from writing lines to directing and reviewing. Then we're going to move on into web development essentials, right? I know most of us right here are front-end developers, which is very good. And trust me, I am also a huge fan of front-end development. In fact, that was what I started with, right? And we're going to talk about the course structure. And when we're talking about the course structure, trust me, we're talking about, so let me see if I can go ahead to do something. You know what? I'm trying to record the screen for you so you guys can try to. Okay, so you guys can just try to review in case you want to go back, right? So I'm just gonna make sure we are all in line right here. I'm gonna put this right at the corner. Yep, just stay there. All right, very good. Let me just confirm this is also recording. All right, sweet. All right, very good. Now, like I was saying before, we're going to talk about the web development essentials, and this is where we're going to talk about HTML. Obviously, if you all are front-end developers, you should know the code fundamentals of web development. We're going to talk about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those are like the three core fundamentals of web development. And we're going to talk about styling. We're going to talk about the language layers. Obviously, we have other programming languages. We also have like the advanced framework and libraries of JavaScript. Most people use React. Most people use Next.js. Most people use Vue. Some people use Vue. Some people prefer Angular. It depends. So whatever stack you are using. But majorly, we're going to talk about React and Next.js because obviously this is what's trending right now. Right. So we're going to talk about variables, function, the events, and DOM manipulations. Those are just like the basic core web development fundamentals. Then after that, we're going to move on to step three, which we're going to cover the Git, GitHub, and collaboration workflow, right? Now, trust me, you might be using AI, but if you do not know how to control your work, if you don't know how to save your work to cloud, if you don't know how to version control all of the code you are writing, then what happens to your system if your system does goes off, or maybe you want to try to access it from maybe another cloud space or something, right? So we really need to understand the fundamentals of Git, GitHub, and collaboration workflow. And trust me, this is going to be very interesting because this is where we're going to shine in, where if some of you are doing project and you need help, you can just send your GitHub repo link. I look at the code base you are doing. I look at how you are prompting your AI. I looked at how you are structuring your Claude.md prompts. Does anyone use Claude Code before? Yeah. If you have used Claude Code, just drop yes in the chat. If not, just say no. That's fine. If you've used Claude Code before, just drop yes in the chat. Okay, we have some no, 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 no. Oh, really? All right, all right. Very good. Very good. All right, all right. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So we are actually going to learn about Claude Code. We're going to learn about different AI tools. So trust me, guys, there's a lot waiting for you guys. Just make sure you pay attention very well and you follow with the class, right? So yeah, we're going to talk about version controls and the likes. Then after that, we are going to talk about building real UIs, right? From prompting to polished components. Now, when we're talking about polished components, trust me, we're talking about some components that if you are just a front-end developer, for you to actually come up with that component, it might take you like a week, if not 5 days, to actually do something very unique like that without using AI, right? But I'm going to show you where top AI companies like ChatGPT, like Claude, we're talking about FAL, we're talking about Hugging Face. I'm going to show you how you can get some of those huge and very nice components. And all you need to do is just to pass it the prompt, take the prompt of that component, pass it to the code base that you're trying to work on. And trust me, your UI is going to become very, very interesting, right? And one of the key factor I really like about these things is how they majorly talk about design. Trust me, when I was starting my front-end developer journey, right, my designs was like, ah, it's really a piece of shit, man. And it got I got better with time, learning some concept of designs. Obviously, you see from my slide right now, even though AI assists me a little bit, but yeah, I think my design skills have actually improved to some extent. Distinct is also doing a great work in like teaching people how to use designs and color scheme. I know today they talked about what's it called, the font type and all of that. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is literally premium right there, right? So we're going to talk about all of this like building real design and also brief it into like a working component using AI assistant. And trust me, most of what we're going to be doing we really vibe code, obviously, but we are going to understand the ins and outs of everything we're going to be doing step by step, right? And after we're done with step 4, we'll just briefly look at API and data fetching. Obviously, if you are shipping products and it requires backend, obviously you need to know how to use fetch, async await, the REST API, and JSON. And trust me, it's not going to be something it's not going to be something complicated. We are literally going to be prompting AI, and you will see how life is very easy, right? But we'll just be like vibe coding, understanding what's going on, and chatting about how to get about this, right? Then the step 6 is we're going to go to the AI project workflow, right? And this is where I'm going to show you how you can start taking your idea that you have in your head right there, and you can actually take it to production, right? Trust me, shipping product nowadays is much more easier. And if you have the right tool, if you have the right knowledge, trust me, you are going to be very much powerful, right? And I know the reason why I'm using the word powerful because if you have the right tools, trust me, you are going to be able to do a lot, right? So we're going to actually zoom out, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to take from ideation to brief to the architecture to building and deploying using AI, right? Every step. We talk about some hosting platform, we talk about Vercel, we talk about different large language models, even the one that are trending right now, Opus 4.7, we'll talk about GPT 5.4, we'll talk about Gemini, and you guys are literally going to know which model is best for which to use. Does anyone know about large language models right here? If you do, just drop a yes in the chat. Obviously, I believe everyone should know about large language models, right? All right. Favor said yes. Very good. I really like that. Active, right? Trust me. If you are very active in my class, at the end of the class, you're gonna get one chair active. So just remind me, right? So step 7, we're going to go into prompt engineering for developers, and this is where we're going to look at how we can improve our prompt. Um, I know you guys would have heard about markdown files, how to write Claude.md, which actually knows almost everything about your code base. And this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the prompting. We're going to talk about it because it's like one of the most underrated skills. And we're going to look at how you guys can write prompts and get useful codes, not generic codes, right? Because trust me, if you instruct your models very well, you're going to get a better output. Then lastly, we're going to build and present, where this is where you guys are going to come in and basically present a solo project, a walking through and the process and AI workflow. And trust me, you would have seen it from the previous lecture, from the previous chat that was sent to the WhatsApp group that you guys are going to be doing a project afterwards. So I'm pretty much sure that this shouldn't be a news to you guys anymore, right? So now let's talk about the modern developer mindset right now, right? Now the modern developer mindset is very crucial because this is where you guys now stop thinking about how things were literally done 2015, 2016, and you literally need to know how to flow with the vibe. Like you need to know what is trending, you need to know what is going. I'm going to actually show you guys how to get latest updates of AI trending news and all of that, right? So just stay with me. You are literally going to learn a lot, right? So now, before we actually dive into the modern developer mindset, obviously, there's a quote coming up, right? And we have this quote by Sam Altman. Everybody knows Sam Altman, right? If you know Sam Altman, drop a yes. If not, drop a no in the chat. Let me see. No, nobody knows Sam Altman. Blessing said no. Are you serious? No, if I said no, let's get a 1 years. Very good. We have 1 years. Great life. So Favor and Ifeanyi, quick question for you guys. Have you guys ever used ChatGPT before? Favor and Ifeanyi, if you have, just drop a yes or no. Favor said yes. Great life. Ifeanyi, have you used ChatGPT before? Ifeanyi, you've used ChatGPT before. I do not know that the CEO of OpenAI is like Sam Altman. Are you serious, bruv? All right. So yeah, Sam Altman is actually the CEO of OpenAI. So you can Google about him and it should be good to go, right? So yes, he said AI. Sorry, I wanted to mention AI. Is one of my friends, but he said AI won't replace developers, but developers who use AI will replace those who don't. I hope this is very, very simple and self-explanatory, right? So basically, you might be scared that AI might take your job. No, AI would definitely not take your job, but someone using AI is going to. All right. So it's very, very important that you guys have this clear mindset and you know that basically only those that use AI, only those that stay 10 times ahead of developers using AI tools are going to replace you. But AI won't, can never even replace you because AI can't do tax itself. So this is something very important that I want you guys to always put at the back of your mind. All right. So now, before we actually dive into the AI itself, because we're going to talk about the shift, right? How it basically shifted from how it was before to how we are currently using it. Before we actually dive into that, I would like to actually talk to you about something very interesting, which is let's just try to roll back a little bit and talk about how this AI evolved from like the 1990s and what really changed over then up till now to 2020s, right? And that's where we have this nice step right here. Now, this step actually talks about how things started, right? Back then in 1950s, right, we had something that was called artificial intelligence, right? Obviously, it's still trendy right now, but artificial intelligence did not just start last year or last 2 years, really. So if you guys are following me, kindly give a thumbs up in the chat so that I can know you guys are with me. Just give a thumbs up. All right. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Adelia Mary. All right, sweet, sweet. I can see you guys are always following me. All right, yep. Trust me, the most active student is going to receive something. So make sure you're always active, right? So yeah, this is the human intelligence exhibited by machines, and this is what it started with in the 1950s. Then we had a shift to machine learning, which was actually trending in the 1980s, right? And this is basically AI system that learns from historical data. And now, when we're talking about historical data, um, if you're a data scientist right here, or you're a data analyst and you've worked with machine learning models before back then, you would know something that is called supervised and unsupervised learning. And we also have reinforcement learning. Um, and we also have semi-supervised, but those ones are, yeah, topics for another day, right? So supervised learning was when you go ahead to like train data. So for example, you can have some bunch of columns and you have a main column where it's yes or no. And based off of those columns, for example, if we want to use okay, let's say we want to build like a model to check if a customer is going to be eligible to accept loans, right? Some of those dependent data would be like how much does the person earn per day? Is the person male or female? How many kids, or is the person married? the major role that we're trying to classify will be yes or no, right? So back then in machine learning, how you actually train models was where you go ahead to basically train your model about those independent variable, right? So what the person age, the amount the person is earning, is the person owing debt before, and all of that. This is going to determine the outcome, which is yes or no, right? So back then, AI system actually learns from historical data, and trust me, that's still the process, but it has really advanced in a better way. And I'll talk more about it, right? And 2010, that's when we had deep learning trending, right? So deep learning was came about because basically we're trying to come up with something that was going to mimic um human brain functions, right? And deep learning was so good that it uses thousands of neurons connected to the layers to try to predict the outcome of a certain event, right? 2010 it was very popular, but right now in the 2020s, there came about generative AI, which is popularly known as Gen AI. I'm pretty much sure everyone will have heard of generative AI before. If you have, just give it a thumbs up. If not, just give it a thumbs down. Right? If you've heard of generative AI before, very good lesson. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, so generative AI now just uses deep learning models, which is the foundational models that create original content, right? And that's where we have something like we have the ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Basically the full meaning of ChatGPT is what? Chat generative pre-trained transformer, right? And this way we have ChatGPT, DeepSeek, we have Claude, we have Gemini. Those now uses huge amount of data that has been trained, right? They now use this to actually mimic to create original content. And that's why you can actually type to ChatGPT now that okay, write me a story or write me an email template. And it basically creates original content for you. And we're going to talk more about the different type of original content that these large language models can actually create for you, right? Before we talk more about that, let's just go into what generative AI is. You know what? If you want to answer, who can tell me briefly what they know about generative AI? Just raise your hand if you want to talk. Just tell me briefly. I just need two people what they know about generative AI. If they've heard of it before, or what you just literally know about generative AI. Does anyone want to go ahead? Babatunde. Okay, let me see who. Babatunde, please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So literally generative AI from my end is more of AI that literally work on prompt and generate things. So it can be in terms of media, talking about video, photo, and the rest, right? So why the one that seems so complex is the agentic AI. So generative AI are more of like the ChatGPT we use, the Sora we use, the Gemini, and the rest. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I personally use generative AI at school, like in doing my assignment. I generate both text and images because most of my assignments requires me to use illustration. Because I'm an illustrator, so I use AI to generate the illustration in doing my assignment. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Thank you. You can see Said just mentioned it really helps him in doing his assignments, which is very great, right? Okay. Favor, let's have you, please. Said, you can put your hand down. Favor, please.
I, I used Gen AI to create videos and also images.
Oh, really? What AI tool do you use to creating videos and images? Favor.
I used Google Flow
Google
and
Flow.
Gemini.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Well done on that end. All right. Very good. So last person we have, Ifine. Please go ahead.
Yes, I use generative AI for research purposes,
Okay.
also for image generation.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. And yeah, trust me, all of what you just mentioned are literally right, right? But there are some certain industry that mostly uses generative AI, and most of this industry will be like in art. You see, like Favor just mentioned that she uses it in creating videos and images. And trust me, there are some images that you cannot even try to draw in like a day, and we have like huge large language models that will just like flesh it out for you in like 3 minutes, sometimes in lesser than that self, right? So application is in arts, healthcare, in marketing also. You see them using AI tools to actually create videos, right? And they actually use that videos to apply for the marketing, business marketing and the likes, right? We also have in product development. Trust me, product development has really changed right now. Where you can even use and software development also, where you can actually use AI tool. You just assign, for example, you are given a task on linear. For those of you that don't know linear, it's like a project management tool. So imagine you're given a task on linear, on Jira, or on Azure board, or ClickUp self. And once you assign that task, you and I know that there are some tasks that they'll give to you. And all you need to do is just to copy the description, paste it to your chatbot and or to your copilot. And under 3 minutes, you are done with that work. Sometimes under 10 minutes, you are done with that work because AI literally just help to fast track your work process. But later on, you go ahead to tell your project manager, so it's going to take me 6 hours or a day to complete. With two of us, we know what's going on, right? But basically, that's what I'm saying, right? But it really helps in application this different industry. So we are going to actually have to change this meeting link. It's going to expire in few minutes. So once this expires, I'm going to drop a new link again to the group. So just try to join back, all right? Just bear with us for now because we are using Google Meet, all right? So yeah, what can we actually really use AI for? All right, thank you for confirming that. Basically, there are 5 key things we can use AI for, even more. But these are the major things you're going to see people using it for, right? And the first one is actually brainstorming and architectural planning. Now, you might be saying, why are we learning all of this? But sometimes I'm very sure that you guys just forget that you have AI tools right beside you that can do a lot, and you tend to just say, "Oh, I can't do this," or "This is too hard." But once you guys have this mindset, once you have this mindset that don't forget, I can usually use AI for these key things. Trust me, you guys will become limitless, right? So, brainstorming and architectural planning, trust me, I use this a lot whenever I want to build a new project from start, and I need to actually plan the architecture to plan how the workflow is going to be like. I actually use AI for it. I usually pass it to Claude sometimes to generate a flow chart for me. If you guys don't know what flow chart is, just a step-by-step procedure um, that basically helps you to break down tasks and tell you what to do, right? You also have pseudo code, right? And the like. So you can actually build like architectural planning using AI. And another key thing that you can actually use AI for is step-by-step development. And trust me, this one is literally underrated. Now, why do I say so? Because um you see now that you can now take your step from ideation to production. Why? By just giving AI, prompting AI step by step what to do. And for those that have not used Claude Code before, you would see that, or sometimes whenever you ask some AI some questions or some large language model some questions, you see that all they do is they'll tell you, okay, I need to do this first. I need to plan this first. Then after I plan this, I'll go ahead to build this out. After I build this out, I'll go ahead to do this next and next and next, right? So AI can be used for step-by-step development. For example, if you're given a huge task to build a component and you don't know how to do it, you can just prompt AI, give it the screenshot, and tell it to explain to you like a baby or give you a step-by-step process on how you can come about this, right? I'm going to talk about that, right? Another thing you can use AI for is for prototyping, right? It's very much common now that you can use AI for prototyping. Also for testing, there was a project I worked on back then, and um, I think it was a project that has to do with chatbots, right? And we wanted to actually go to a phase of beta testers, right? For those that are not familiar with beta testers, this is just when you tend to give your product to real world users to actually try to test out your product and see how it works for them in real life, right? But the thing is that we wanted to give one, I think 1,000 people to test that, and trust me, it was going to cost the company a lot, right? So what we came up with was building an AI tester, right? And it was very, very interesting and sweet because what we had to do is we had to write some scripts for AI to actually go into our code base, test the chatbot one by one, ask questions, see the answer, document it down, put it in a detailed markdown file. And we were doing all of this, like we created like an AI tool that acts as an agent, right? And this agent, we created like almost 1,000 agents, and we told it to go in into our code base and try to break it. And obviously we still hired testers, but we just hired like, was it not 50 or 30 beta testers, and we were good to go, right? So basically, you need to know that AI can actually help you to change your workflow, right? Basically, this helped in testing, and it was very seamless because all the documentations, all the error it faces, it was well properly documented. And guess what? We now use AI again to actually solve that problem. So trust me, there are a lot that AI can do for you. And the last one is actually code optimization. And this is actually very crucial because one of the things I notice nowadays with developers is they just want to prompt that code with AI, like vibe code and all of that, right? But they usually forget that also is very good to code optimize your code base, if that makes sense. And the reason is because you're actually going to visit that code one day again in the future. If not you, somebody that you're going to leave that job for is going to visit that code base. And trust me, you don't want to be the person that once I go to the code base and I see what you wrote before, I'll be like, oh my goodness, whoever wrote this code base before, it is well with your soul. So you want to make sure that you can actually use AI to actually code optimize whatever you're doing. Trust me, it's actually very simple nowadays. You just tell it, prompt it, go through my code base, and make sure to implement best practices, and you are literally going to be good to go. All right. So guys, I want you to take a look at this image, right? And you see that we have in 2050, look at how the world is going to be like, right? And this is to tell you that the world is actually going to change in 3 years to come, right? And this is just like how many years from now? 24 thereabouts. And let me just see if I can bring up the video for you guys and show you guys the link so you guys can watch it, right? It's called How Life Will Look in 2050. So whenever you have some time or you want to rewind or you want to eat, you can just actually go ahead to watch the video, and trust me, it's very interesting. Um that's over 1.4 million views now. So let me just go ahead to drop this stuff for you all in the chats. Or let me just drop it in the WhatsApp group because one is going to expire very soon. You can just go ahead to watch how the world will look like. Let me see if I can copy the right video URL. All right, it's a very interesting watch. And the other one I would also recommend for you guys would be how AI could empower any business. And this is by Andrew NG, right? You can search for it on YouTube in case. But let me just go ahead to drop the link for you guys again on the group. Yeah, cool. I'm going to also drop the link for you. So just react to the group to the link if you have seen it on the group. Just give a thumbs up so I can know you guys have acknowledged the message, right? Very important. And the second one would be how AI could empower any business. Is a very good watch. I would recommend you guys go ahead to actually watch that. It's something that would worth your time. And trust me, whenever I see any resources that you guys are going to need, I'm definitely going to always pass it through to you guys. All right. So with that being said, let's just go on into the next thing, which is like the types of generative AI based on data, right? So now what is trending now is you actually input text and your output can be translation, summarization, question and answer, grammar correction. I can also have image generation. You can tell it create a cat image for me, and it goes ahead to actually create a cat image for you. This is not in use anymore. It's something that you guys use day to day, and we'll talk more about this, right? It can actually output audio, right? It can output games. You can tell it to build games for you. Simple game, and you're literally going to be good to go. And mostly, sorry, we're going to be talking about software development, obviously, because we are in the dev space. Even though we are actually still going to look at some other places where we can actually use AI in, but let's look at the use cases in software development, right? Um, so basically, you can actually use this in writing boilerplate code. This is not in use anymore. And writing UI components, which is something I'm very big on, and I'm going to teach you guys how to write quality UI component. I noticed that most of the major issue right now with developers is building a very sweet and interesting website with quality design, also consuming APIs. These are like some major issues and loopholes that I see developers fall into mostly, and they get not to actually write the best. So I'm going to teach you how you can actually do the best out of this. All right. And also creating unit integration and E2E testing. Obviously, you know what E2E means, end-to-end testing, right? I'll also teach you how you can use it to write project documentations. Trust me, I do not even spend before. I remember back then, I when I was in fact it's still on my GitHub. When I was creating my README on my GitHub, I literally spent almost a day structuring that README. All right, I had to learn about markdown files, about using H1 and H2, using markdown formats. Back then, I think it's 2021 thereabout. That was when I met with the GitHub star Gift Egwenu and Ruti Kega. If you know them, you know them, right? So I'll show you how very easy it is right now to write documentations. You might be doing this before, but I'm also going to show you a better way you can actually improve this, right? We're going to talk about how we can also use it to refactor and optimize existing code, and also debugging and suggesting fixes, which is very, very important. All right. So don't forget that this is just the surface that we are scratching. We're trying to enter the world of modern developer mindsets, right? You need to actually flee away from writing your code step by step and spending time that you are going to use to do something very productive, right? Those are the key things that we are trying to to pass, right? And some of the key use cases summary table is for art and visuals, like Favor said, you mentioned the new tool, but these are some examples of AI tools also that you can use. And I'm going to give you many more. So feel free to always take screenshots or ask if you have any question in the group. If you want to use like a model to build a website that you don't know what to use, there are different ones. Lovable. There are many right there, which I'm going to talk to you guys about. All right. So example of AI tool of art and visual, we have DALL-E, Adobe Firefly, we have Runway ML. Jesus, Runway ML is so very good at creating art and visual design. Um, and I would also show you guys where to check your top AI models that are trending, where to get models for free. So just make sure you stay tuned, right? Um, Obviously, we have the application, generate artwork, enhance photos, and create design. We also have music composition. Guys, you know what? Just give me 1 minute. This meeting link is going to expire soon, so let me just go ahead to create a new link. so I can drop it on the group right there. All right, very good. So let's continue. We have less than 3 minutes more. So before this thing kick us off, you know what? Can everyone just go ahead to start clicking on the link and joining the new meeting link? I'm going to end this meeting for everyone right now. So just go ahead to click on the new meeting link that was sent to you on the group, and you should be good to go. All right, all right, all right. I just want to make sure that everybody is set. All right, I see people are already joining. You can leave this one and try to join the new one. I'm already admitting you guys in. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, everyone. All right, we are still waiting for some people. Let's just give them a few seconds to join. Kick off. All right, so I think we are good to go from where we stopped. All right. All right. So yeah, we also have music composition. We have AI Viva. We have Ampa Music. We have SoundDraw. Um, Now we also have for text generation. I mean, these are the things that are self-explanatory. You can go ahead to try it out. I'm also going to give you some sources. You have design and UX. You have video and animation, Runway, like I said before, Pictory, Synthesia for creating videos. You have Figma plugin, UIZard. There are a lot, right? I'm also going to give you guys some extra. I'm also going to give you guys some extra resources. So please do well to stay along. And all right, so let's just talk about briefly the impact of generative AI, right? And these are key things that you literally need to understand. Trust me, once the foundation is actually key, you are going to be very good to go, right? And it's very important to know that generative AI is transforming industries, right? And is here to stay. And how is it doing this? It's actually doing this by automating creative processes and enabling individuals and organizations to produce high quality personalized content at scale. Now, you would agree with me that sorry, you'd agree with me that the way people are shipping out products right now is 10 times better of how they basically do it before, right? So it's very important to know that generative AI is transforming industries by all of this. And basically, what this shift does is it basically enables faster experimentation, right? So instead of you waiting 1 week to see how a product will look like after a phone developer is done with it, or a designer uses like 3 days to create a simple design, right? Which sometimes is actually very important, but trust me, designers would also tell you that they are now use AI to actually fast track that process, right? So this shift has actually enabled faster experimentation, cost saving. Some people actually apply for student copilot. I would tell you how to do that also. There's a video I can recommend for you guys for that. So it also enables like new possibilities in content creation. It's reshaping the landscape and media entertainment and design, right? You see cartoons, people are creating AI cartoons, telling story, this and that, right? And this shift is actually, you have someone joining in. All right, and this shift has actually helped us in many ways, right? And lastly, let's just look at some real world application in complaints, right? And an example would be a lot. You know what? Before I go ahead to give an example of real world application in complaints, can you guys just tell me, just one or two people, like, can you tell me, um, which complaint have you seen that uses AI very well? Like you've used a product before, an AI, let's say a movie app or whatsoever. Can you tell me where this AI has literally helped you in that app before? Anyone? Just raise your hand. Just tell me if you have used any app. I'm very sure that there's a lot, but you guys might not really know that this AI is actually doing the work at the background. But do you want to go ahead? Any app you've used? Okay, we have one hand raised. Boluwati Fair. This is the second time answering my question. Very good. Just go ahead. Yeah, Boluwati Fair, you can go ahead, please. Boluwati Fair or Lashile, are you there? If you are speaking, your mic is muted. I can hear you. I can't hear you, rather. All right. Does anyone else want to go ahead? Any application that they've used before that they've seen the application of AI in that particular application, right? So you've used the app before, and you see how did this thing just come about? This is definitely the work of something, right? All right. So I guess Boluwati Fair is not there, but let me just go ahead to give an example. I'm very sure you guys would have seen it before, right? An example would be like Netflix, right? And Netflix actually uses AI to recommend movies and shows based on what users have watched, predicting what they might enjoy next. And trust me, there was one thing that happened to me on Instagram of recent where I was looking for a particular location, and I just went ahead to search for it. You know what? Let me just go ahead to raise follower and lower. Yeah. I just went to search for it on Instagram. And trust me, the next time I opened my Instagram and I was trying to just scroll and check out what's going on there, I literally saw recommendations on what I searched for. And I'm like, bruv, what's going on here? Like, how did I search for this? And they're already recommending this app because trust me, they now use AI to now like recommend shows. And you notice that also in Spotify, right? They are also it's one that they also did your AI DJ mixer on Spotify, I guess something like that. They also tend to recommend music for you on Spotify that is related. Amazon's recommend products. If you try to click on buying a laptop, you will see 10 of that same brand of that same laptop recommending their products for it because they already use AI to learn based off of your buying history, and they help you to make personalized suggestion also to each user. All right. Also Adobe, you would have seen different AI tools, especially in CapCut. There are now AI tools in CapCut, in Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and many more, right? They are a lot. And one thing you also need to know is what generative AI can do and cannot do for coders, because trust me, once we lay key emphasis on these fundamentals, we are going to start building, right? So it can generate code snippets quickly, it can suggest alternative implementation, it can automate repetitive coding tasks and provide explanation for complex code. And what it cannot do is it cannot fully understand your project entire architecture without context. Now, take note of without context, right? Do not assume your AI already know what's going on without actually giving it context. And why do I say just? Because it's very common in developers, right? They just go ahead. Can you go ahead to run this UI for me? And you know what? Let me just give you guys a real world example, right? So, for example, you are working on a project in your company and you are told to implement a UI, all right? And I'm very sure it will have happened to someone before. If it has happened to you before, you can also drop a yes in the chat. So I know that probably I'm not alone. Right. So back then, so what happens is whenever okay, we have somebody that wants to join. So like I was saying, the story, right? Back then, whenever I want to implement a new UI design, what happens is I go ahead to take a screenshot of the design and I pass it to AI to actually go ahead to implement that design for me for that particular project. And guess what happens, right? It will just happen that AI will start using HTML and CSS to create the UI for you. It will not take a look at the tailwind structure that you have. It will not take a look at the architecture. It will not take a look at how you structure your components. It will just go ahead to create everything in one file, bam, and that's all, right? So that's why it's very important to always give your AI model context. And I'll tell you about how you can make your model context aware of the project you're working with. So whenever you're trying to work on the project, it basically follows that pattern. It stay consistent with that pattern, which is very, very important. All right. Especially if you're working if you're just joining a new project or a new company or a new gig that you want to work on, that someone has worked on before, you need to actually flow with the UI. You need to actually adapt. So I'll teach you how to allow your models to be context aware also. And it can also replace critical thinking or deep problem solving. AI can actually do a lot, right? But trust me, it cannot think that deeply for you, right? You need to actually tell it what to do before it can actually think deeply, right? And since when I've been using AI, since when those new models have been coming out, trust me, I've started using GPT since when I was doing my project back then in school. Um, I've started using it back then since, and see now that they've released multiple new AI models, right? I can personally say that AI still make mistakes. So it's something to always know that it cannot guarantee you free or optimized code, right? Because you need to actually review what that AI has done for you. You can also use that same AI to tell you to review, right? If not, if you don't review and you just go and push to production, you just gonna crash your main website, everything will just go down, right? So it's very important to always review before you actually push to production. And the next thing will be handle sensitive confidential data safely without risks, right? There was one time that a trend happened that a developer went to go and attach his ENV file and it got leaked and all of that, right? So it's very, very important that you can just give AI the sample of how the API key will look like. But mostly, I would recommend you not giving your AI model your full API key because of risks and the likes, right? You see, of recent, Claude Code even sorry, Anthropic actually open source that code base by mistake. Who knows? Maybe it was AI that did that mistake or something, right? So trust me, it's something that you guys have to pay attention to, right? And now let's look at the shift because we've talked about the basics of AI and all of that. But right now, let's look at the shift and let's look at what has actually changed so far. Now, basically, what is the shift? Before we go into the shift, obviously, I have quotes for you. And trust me, this quote right now is by me, Dave Wald. And it simply says, technology isn't just about coding, it's about innovation and making lives better, right? Trust me, I've seen people that are not technical stakeholders, that they don't even know how to code, they don't know the basics of HTML and CSS, and they've actually built innovative products that people are using currently. All they used was some basic AI tools like Lovable to build a website and Superbase to connect it and link all the database together and stuff like that. And even it applies for Google Earth and everything. And they have actually built an innovative product. And I think I saw one that actually sold his company for around um was it $2 million thereabout? Something if I coded with Lovable and connected with Superbase. And I was like, oh my goodness, life is literally changing right now, right? So you need to know that right now it's not just about writing code. You might know how to write code, which is a very huge advantage, but you need to also know that what you are trying to write is about making innovations and also making people life better. And now that's my favorite quote. You can tend to write it down anyway. And look at this image right here. This actually tells you the shifts, right? Before, um, even this image was generated by AI. So yeah, before how it happens is you literally have a lot of documentations. Jesus, I can't really think about it, right? Because back then when I was learning backend, right, I had to read documentation on Passport JS. I will read documentation or read that. Sometimes I might not even know what to do. I might not know that. I might not know the steps to take, and it's just like takes me into context switching where I'm just going from one place to another. I'm trying to find my way balance. Sometimes I can even use back then. I remember I used to use one day to build a very nice hero section, display effects, justify content center, display absolute, display relative, top -1 -3 minus, oh my goodness. And I'm like, God, like what's going on, right? So back then you need to actually struggle and you make less progress every day. But right now, more clarity equals to more impact with AI, right? Because trust me, once you have AI, I can even like multitask. I can be working on 3 to 4 different projects at the same time, and I'm deeply focused, high velocity, like speed, fast, fast. Before you know, it has finished this UI. 1, 2, 1, 2. We have passed. We have already scored. Like it's very, very easy to use AI right now, and also it focuses on real impact, right? You ship products that will take you literally 1 to 2 months to actually finish. And right now, you can actually go ahead to build all of those products in just days, sometimes in even hours. You are already good to go, right? And now let's explore um the toolkits that we have, right? And before I go ahead, let me know what toolkits do you guys use when it comes to writing your code base, right? For those that are from the developer, so tell me, what tool do you use when you are working on your tasks or you are working on a project? What tool do you use that actually helps you the more? Let me get what toolkit do you use? VS Code, Cursor, or you use some LLMs? What toolkit do you use? Just go ahead to drop it in the chat so I can know you guys are following me. Like, can everyone hear me? Okay, very good. All right, let me see. So what toolkit do you use as a developer or as a product designer or whatever you are doing currently? What toolkit do you use that actually fasten your productivity? So let's go ahead to drop it in the chat so I can know you guys are with me. So if it's VS Code, if it's Cursor AI, if it's Claude Code, if it's Copilot, you can just drop it in the chat. But if you want to talk, I'm just going to accept just one person. Okay, VS Code and Copilot on Blessing. All right. Who just raised his hand? Okay, we have a chat coming up. All right, good, good. Uh, VS Code and anti-graffiti. Anti-graffiti. Yes, I've literally heard about anti-graffiti, and most developers now uses that to actually fasten their process and build like project like fast, fast. But yeah, that's good. Thanks for telling us. Well, like let's look at we're going to just look at the common ones. We're going to talk more about some other toolkits, but the most common ones. Let's give it 1 minute. My laptop is about to go off. Just plug this in. All right, sweet. All right, so most of the toolkits right now, we have VS Code, right? VS Code is actually very sweet. I'm also going to teach you guys how to use VS Code because I know most developers now use VS Code and they are limitless. Like there are things that you can actually do with VS Code that you don't know right now, and I'm pretty much going to show you everything. Even now, I'm still learning, but trust me, you're also going to learn a lot. And we also have Cursor, right? Now, Cursor is actually paid for. If you work for a company, you can actually request for that company to actually subscribe to Cursor for you. Trust me, if you tell them that this is literally going to boost my productivity, this is going to improve the way I do my workflow, the way I work, and all of that, Cursor is going to be very, very sweet. You can actually ask your company to actually do that for you. You also have ChatGPT and Claude, and these are just like interfaces where some developers just go there and they prompt, they tell Claude, tell me what to do. Let's break this down step by step. How do I do approach of adding authentication and all of that? And this is where you can chat with AI model just to understand what you need to do first before you proceed. We also have Copilot, which is the brother of VS Code, right? And trust me, we have Copilot that are free to every users on VS Code, right? Where you can use some certain LLMs, which helps. But trust me, there are better ones. But like you can still use these ones for like inline suggestion, for code completion, or for context aware, right? This is where you can. So let me just get it. Yeah. So as you can see, just like we have here, you can use it to just auto complete your code base and all of that. And in VS Code, you always see something like this star, right? Which I will show you what it's for. When you click on that star, when you highlight a line on your VS Code, you can see complete with AI or this and that. I'll show you everything. So just make sure you understand the basics for now, right? It's very important. We also have Claude Code. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorites. Claude Code has literally changed the world. And most people are actually switching from ChatGPT to Claude Code, especially developers, because of how huge the model is literally good at doing tasks, right? So Claude Code Opus 4.6, 4.7 has been trained on a lot of data that they are very much good at doing tasks right now. I'm sure you must have heard of Claude designs too, right? Which we'll talk more about once we get there. And other thing for you to know is the basic step of actually taking your project from ideation to production, right? You write, you plan, you execute, you commit your messages, and you ship. We'll talk more about the process, right? Once we also get there, right? Um, so the other one that we are going to be talking more about is the uh, different AI tools that you can actually use, right? I'm also going to attach some couple of screenshots to you guys, and once you guys are good to go, you can go ahead to actually screenshot it and just look at these different AI tools, right? Uh, Also the power difference between ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. You can take a screenshot, look at the use cases, what it is, when you can use it, and what it actually perform best in doing, right? We also have these AI tools for startup founders, which you can also take a screenshot. So mostly you have for market research, you can use Perplexity or Consensus. For pitch decks, you can use Beautiful.ai. Gamma is literally very sweet at doing presentation slides. Even it offers free trial, and trust me, it's still good at what it does, to be honest, right? Um, so we also have for sales enablement, we have for building MVPs, we have for UI UX design, Figma, UIs that and the likes. And we also have like top 21 AI tools to boost your workflow. Runway, I talked about Runway, Google View. I think Favor spoke about Google, about using Gemini thereabouts. Gamma slides for coding, also replicates, code signal for sales, HubSpot. HubSpot is also getting popular right now. For data, for writing, you can use Qbot. Qbot has actually been in existence. They also started integrating AI to the platform so that they can actually so that users can actually do more with their tasks, right? And also, before we go ahead, let me go ahead to tell you how you can actually take your idea to production. So taking your whatever you are from ideation to production, just make sure you pay attention because this is what we are going to be using, right, for all of the project we're going to do throughout this course itself, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have these are the steps that we're going to follow whenever we want to build any project from start, right? First thing is to plan. Now, where this plan comes in is where you have an idea and it's like an AI powered task manager, and you like just tell it, I want to do this, I want to do that. You talk to your chatbot, we're going to talk to Claude, you see how we can come up with Claude.md and all of that. So after your planning, you go ahead to generate. Then we take that MDX file, the Claude.mdx file, we take that file, we pass it to the AI platform itself, and that's where we go ahead to see um, AI do its work, where it scaffold our project, it does the project setup, it does everything back to front, and you're going to see how everything works. We're going to do a real life example together, right? Also, we'll tell AI to review, to run the the build to make sure that there's no error. Then we refine, and once we refine, we see that okay, we want to change this feature, we want to upgrade this UI, you want to do this, we want to do that. Then we now go ahead to ship our products, right? So these are the steps that we're going to be following, and this is going to be like a feedback loop, right? So the major task will be to learn, improve, and iterate, right? Very important, right? And this is going to make us to move faster. It's going to make us to code smarter, and it's going to make us to have fewer bugs and happier users, just like how we have it on our slide right here, right? And my last quote for you guys would be that with 10,000 hours of dedication, of dedicated practice, anyone can master his skills. And this will be by Malcolm Gladwell, right? Right. So this is very important for you guys to know. Malcolm Gladwell is actually like I think he's a British journalist slash author. You can search for him. And basically what he said is that with 10,000 hours of dedication, of dedicated practice, so trust me, whatever you are learning, whatever AI tool you are learning, right? If you can put in 10,000 hours of dedication practice, right? You are going to literally master that skills, right? Especially for those that are coding, you'll notice that the reason why most people drop off of coding is because sometimes maybe they didn't start. If you started coding back then in 2020, you would know how serious it was always. Like you code in the midnight and all of that. Like it was always back and forth. Trust me, for those that learned coding back then, they are actually reaping the fruits now because now they already understand the in and out of coding, and all they need to do is just plug and play, do the prompt engineering and all of that, and they are good to go, right? So this is what we're going to stop for this class. In our next class, we're going to dive into web development essentials, right? This is where we're going to start looking at learning the fundamentals of web. We'll just crash the surface and we'll start building with AI. I'll show you how simple it is to actually build an AI product from start, where we'll just prompt AI like a normal user. You'll see the output and you compare it to now creating or building or shipping with AI by following the step-by-step guideline that I've given you, right? Which is the feedback loop, right? So I hope you guys understood what we did so far. This is time that I'm going to take in questions. Again, going to be the um this is going to be the steps we're going to be following. Pretty much we've done step one, which is how we now know the modern developer mindset. We now know the toolkits that we need. We now know how AI can now help us with like directing and reviewing. We now know that they can do all of this, right? Now that we know all of this, we're now going to learn the web development essentials and look at how we can start applying them. And we'll move on from there. All right. So this is the part where I now confirm if you guys have any question. I'm just going to stop presenting and I'm going to take this back. Let me bring this back right here so you guys can see this. All right. So if you guys have any question, any suggestion, any observation, if not, we are going to be sticking with our 1 hour 30 minute daily so that we keep the time. All right. So like again, we are active on the group. Whenever you need any help, just make sure to ping what any tutor you can see. Dixon is always there. I think Dixon is always very active, right? So whenever you need any help, just ping any tutor. They're always there to help you. Ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. By the way, I'm going to also drop the recording on the group. So we'll just drop a link so you guys can go ahead to rewatch whenever you want to rewatch. But again, thank you all for joining. I see we have new people that joined. Adoye Mary, Blessing Dauda, Dawudu. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. Boluwatife, Favor, Great, Fine, Pelumi, and Said. So what I want you guys to do right now, before we drop off, just drop it in the chat what you were able to learn today. Just drop it in the chat what you were able to learn today. Just briefly, let me see. All right, you can actually drop it in the WhatsApp group. I think that would be better because this is gonna cut off soon. So just go ahead to drop it in the WhatsApp group what you were able to learn today. And Dixon's there. I think I'm gonna pass the mic to Dixon right now. But before I pass the mic to Dixon, let me just go ahead to read from you guys. Okay, we have from Damidi. Uh, I I don't really know if the Damidi is here. I know you're actually here, but I don't know the exact Damidi. So it'd be nice if you dropped your name. But yeah, from Damidi, thank you. That's really nice. Okay, we have a question from Blessing. But before we go ahead to take Blessing questions, let's just see comments from people that are typing on the chat so we can see what they learned. Yes, very good. Okay, blessing, not a question, suggestion. Okay, very good. I'm going to you're going to talk very soon. So, like one of the major thing I wanted to actually flesh out. Oh, yeah, the Damidi blessing. All right, nice, 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 nice. Very good. Was that why you raised your hand? Just to confirm. All right. So one of the major things that I see like most beginners lose is they don't okay, very good. Damn it. Thanks for clarifying that. So one of the major things I see developers do is they don't really understand the concept of this AI itself. And once they hear something trending, they just go ahead to flow with the vibe. Okay, today we have this tool trending for this. Have you checked this? This and that. Trust me, there are a lot of updates right there, right? Um, updates are always up to date, especially if you have the right information. So trust me, all you need to do is learn the fundamentals, know how it works, and master the tools that you're using very well. Don't go around elevating, right? Thousands of tools are going to come out there. It's good to actually also flow with the vibe, but make sure to also tend to understand what you are doing. And that's why I had to cover the fundamentals of AI before we dive into doing something very insightful. I think Dixit also mentioned that you can also you can take a screenshot of what you learned if you took a screenshot for the class and just let me just go ahead to share the screen again. You can just go ahead to tag Dixit about what you learned and you'll be good to go. So you can take a screenshot of what you're going to learn and tag Dixit on Instagram. All their handles is actually on the group. They're actually doing a great work. Okay, we have from Said. He said informative session learning about some of the things AI can do, such as architecture, design, inspired me to yes, you need to think bigger, right? Bigger and better, Said. W's in the chat, right? Um about artists I could accomplish with it. Very good, very good. I like that. We have from Creatios. We said that it was really a great class. Thank you for that. I got to know different AI tools. Very good. Just a few ChatGPT, Gemini, Camera, and trust me, they are a lot more than this, right? And I've always thought AI users were crazy lazy. Lol, my guy. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Again, it was really nice having you guys. I think I'm just going to stop sharing right now. And okay, let me see. Now present something else. Actually, stop sharing. Oh, we have one more comment from someone. Let me see. Side, please drop picture of the entire screen. Thank you. Okay, okay. I'm going to go ahead to share this slide with you. So don't worry. So you're good to go. Faith, you are highly welcome. Thank you for the class. I really enjoyed the session and want to learn how to turn idea to production. Yes, you are definitely going to learn how to turn idea into production. So we have these comments from them. It was really nice having you guys again. We have some people still typing. Oh, very good. Very good. Awesome. Awesome. All right. You all are welcome again. This thing I think I'm going to pass it to you right now. I think we are pretty much done with the class. Yep, we are pretty much done with the class. So, Dixit, over to you, please. Okay, if Dixit is not there, I think it's if this is not there, then we can wrap it up from here. Again, guys, thank you all for joining. It was really nice having you guys. And again, 5 o'clock on Friday, I'm going to meet with you all. Make sure to join the class on time. Getting to know my students right now. I think Belumi, Bolwatife, and please, I want you guys to be consistent, right? If you're consistent, you're going to actually learn a lot, right? Ifeanyi, Blessing, Great Life, Lazarus, two of us, okay? Favor, Mary, Adeoye. Adeoye used to give me a name of like my boss vibe. But yeah, it was really nice having you guys. And till then, I will see you guys on Friday. Bye, guys.